On that note, what was your thoughts on the disciplinary outcome?
Yeah, obviously quite pleased for John that his punishment I think was fair enough. So yeah, I think as a club we were reasonably satisfied with the outcome.
Is Scottish football just getting too excited at these kind of flashpoints, if you like?
I think there's a balance to be made. I think we do have a responsibility. I think I said this in the aftermath. I think we do have a responsibility to behave as best we can all the time, whether that's players or managers or coaches. But I think you temper it with the fact that we're involved in a highly emotive industry that involves a lot of passion and heat at the moment, and that will never change. If you sanitise the game too much, we lose a lot of the things that people speak about. So there is a fine line to walk between the two. Maybe in how quickly things could be dealt with and put to bed would maybe be the one thing I think that could be done better, because the longer something is left hanging, then perhaps more people talk about it. Once a judgment's been made on it, then usually it should be put to bed.
There's a lot of talk about discipline, and one of the things from the game during the week was a Lewis Stevenson tackle on Alfredo Morelos, and people looking for a yellow card. Again, are we getting too excited about what used to be passed on after that?
I mean, I don't know too much about that one incident, but trust me, if we were to go back and look at every single decision that should be a yellow card and that wasn't given, then that's all we would talk about, because it happens in every single game up and down the country, every single week, through all the leagues. I thought Bobby Madden was really good in the game the other evening. I think Bobby's one of our best referees. I think he's got a really good manner about him. He'll make mistakes, like I make mistakes and like players make mistakes, but his all-round manner of how he referees a game is very good. So just all round as an official, I think he's a positive one, and certainly don't think he should be highlighted for not being a good official.
Turning towards the cup game, the draw looks on paper to give Hibs a really good chance to get through the next round. Is it something you're just wary of?
No, look, for us, we knew that I was fairly honest about the draw we had in the previous round. It had been one of the most difficult ties that any of the Premiership got. And there's obviously Premiership teams who are playing against each other in this last 16, and we're not doing that. So that makes it more exciting for us and a bit fresh, because we're coming against an opponent out of a thrown league, and we know we have a realistic opportunity to get into quarter-finals, which for us is a massive incentive. I think probably the best way to describe it is this is just as big a game for us as it is for BSC. They'll obviously, for very different reasons, point out how big a game it is for them as a club, but for us, the motivation to get to the last eight of the Scottish Cup is huge. So hence the reason why our preparation for the game is just as consistent as it was for the game on Wednesday evening. What
advantage does it give you? There'll be more Hibs fans there. It's not as if you're going into a cauldron. What advantage will that give you?
Look, I think the group of players that we have and the experiences, we've all had as players, staff. It makes a huge amount of difference. We went into an environment on Wednesday evening where we are vastly outnumbered in terms of supporters, and where the atmosphere is incredibly intense and hostile, and we were good in the game and stood up to that. So it's nice to have the backing and more supporters within the stadium, but I think irrespective of that, I think we've got a group of players now that are equipped to deal with the different challenges they face.
Given Hibs won the Cup 2016, is the pressure off the club these days in terms of the Scottish Cup?
I think probably for some people, because I think what Alan and his squad did was take away that probably hysteria and hype that went with every time the Scottish Cup started and every time the club progressed further into the tournament. For me, not really, because I put myself under pressure to deliver success for the club. So just because the club won the Scottish Cup recently, I don't feel under any less pressure. The pressure I put on myself, that's not pressure from other people, but I create a lot of pressure for myself just because I want to do well and I want to be successful when I'm here. So I'll feel just as much pressure to try and win the Cup this year as I would have done if Hibs hadn't been successful a few years ago under Alan.
The case of almost they're going to come out flying, they're going to be coursing with adrenaline. Is that case of almost making sure they weather the first bit and then let the natural ability of the Hibs players going to take over?
I think a lot of the time it's I think there's a trust. There's got to be a trust in what the players do and what we're prepared to do, and that's the key thing. And that sometimes is it's not an easy thing to do in football, because, as I mentioned, speaking of a different subject, but the emotion that's involved in the game. So you can go out with the best laid plans, and emotion takes over, and decision making is affected by emotion. But Wednesday evening was a great one for us because a hugely different game. but we had to be trusting what we wanted to do, and we did that for large parts of the game, particularly in the first half. So Sunday, is the same. We will prepare and know what we want to do, and it's a case of trusting that if we do that, we'll be okay, and not getting caught up in anything that might happen in any part of the game. So that again is a mindset thing that I think grows just as you become more confident and more trusting what hopefully I'm asking them to do as well.
It's almost easier said than done to get the players to prepare the same for a game against a lower league team as it is to go to Ibrox?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's like everything you do with players, whether it's coaching, whether it's information you give them, whether it's nutrition. You know, I'm only with players X amount of hours of a day, so you can educate and guide. You can't control, and equally, I can't be inside their heads. So the one thing that we can affect or we can control is our preparation and how we are. So as a staff and as a club, our preparation, as I mentioned, will be exactly the same as it was for Ibrox. So our analysis, our depth of work in that respect, the work we do in the training pitch is the same, tweaked obviously according to the opposition we face. So it means then hopefully the players, they'll know that, well, they're approaching it the same way, so should be. And again, it's a trust you have in the players. The one thing I've mentioned a lot here is a group I've got. They're a good group, conscientious, they're honest, and they want to do things properly. And I must admit, it's never once came into my thought process that the players would go into the game and not approach it the right way. I've absolute faith in them in that regard.
How much analysis have you been able to do in BSC Glasgow? Has it been tricky, or do you feel like you know exactly what you're going up against?
It's a little bit more difficult to get as much footage as we can do for league games, because the footage that's available now through different platforms is extensive. However, the amount of clubs now that have their own broadcast facilities and who will put games out, not just BSC but clubs in the Lowland League, means that there are ways and means of getting enough footage. So we have enough and plenty that gives us enough to what we would work on really for a league game as well, and that's helpful, because not so long ago that wouldn't have been the case. It would have been very difficult. I mean, I think not so long ago I played against Lothian Thistle with St Mirren. James and I actually went to watch them again, but we didn't have any footage just because of what was available for them. So with BSC, we're quite lucky that both their own facilities and then the other teams that play against them enables us to be able to do it properly.
Team news for the weekend and injuries?
We've got a few concerns from Wednesday evening. Just we've had a really busy schedule, as I mentioned before, and turnaround again in game is quick. So we've got 3 or 4 that we'll have to assess over the course of tonight and tomorrow, and then make a decision on them. Obviously, I'd rather not say who they are at the moment, but natural that we would have some bumps and bruises from a game of that intensity on Wednesday.